Off the Top Rope refs it up. Wednesday evening, two things that are making an impact. Impact Wrestling's Rebellion event on Saturday, and my live guest, Impact Wrestling referee great, Daniel Spencer. He joins the ropes, sizzling and live. The great Daniel Spencer joins your boy Ty Asbury on Off the Top Rope Wednesday, presented by SixPackCoverage.com.
Tyrone Asbury. Yo. Yeah. I need y'all to listen to me right now as I take you on this journey. Podcast journey. Only the greats can.
It's Wednesday night, of course, and you're going to get some sizzle. You're going to get Off the Top Rope, of course, and all week long, my phone's been blowing up. Ty, you know, the best referee in wrestling is, I'm like, I know who it is. My live guest, of course. He is from Impact Wrestling. My man, Daniel Spencer, is in the house. Daniel, what is up, my brother?
What's up, man? I appreciate saying the best, but I don't know about that. I mean, of course, we got Impact alone. We got Brian. Brian Hebner's one of the GOATs right there. And then you got some GOATs like Charles Robinson and Mike Chioda out there, too, as well. Not to mention Brian's dad, Earl. So I appreciate the compliment, though. I thank you. I'm up and coming for sure. That's what I like to say. Hopefully, in 10 years from now, you can say I'm one of the best or the greats. But thank you for that, though. Appreciate that.
Hey, you know, my brother, it's an honor, man. Like I said, to have you on the show, it's an honor to, as being a fan, first and foremost, to watch what you're doing at Impact, killing it in between the competition. So I respect what you do, putting the grind in, wanting to make a name for yourself. And I've been researching a lot about you, and I was like, man, this guy's got it going on. So we might as well bring him on the ropes and talk about him, what he's up to. And first and foremost, man, how you doing tonight? I know you're super busy. I mean, you got Impact, you got your podcast. You doing stuff. I mean, you got my notes here. I mean, you got different promotions you referee for. So,
yeah,
man, how tired are you, man?
Well, I mean, I do stay busy, you know, from many different things I dabble into. Believe it or not, the podcast alone, I mean, this has been a while since I podcast because we've been kind of like on a little hiatus on ours, on Ringside Podcast, which is I host for about a little over a month. It's just kind of, we're just kind of waiting on some things, and I don't call it a relaunch, but just going to kind of like, boom, here it is. And then when we start back up, we just want to kind of take off, you know, kind of, so to speak. So we're kind of slowly like waiting for that to happen and make big announcements there. But yeah, man, it's just, but yeah, from Impact, we got a big, you know, we got Rebellion coming up this weekend, TV tapings as well. Then we turn around and we're going to have, you know, Under Siege and TV tapings again a couple weeks after that. And then, in between all that, I'll also, you know, I'm a senior official at OVW here in Louisville, Kentucky. So I got that I take care of in between all of that. As you mentioned, other promotions, sometimes you might see me pop up in the Indies somewhere. Shout out to Dave Hero up in Milwaukee area, the Great Lakes Championship Wrestling. I do some appearances there from time to time too as well. So yeah, it's going to be a really busy summer. I'll tell you that for sure.
You think you'll have any time to go to the beach, or you're like, the beach may have to hold off for the time being?
I don't know, man. It's I'm looking at the schedule, and there might be a beach stop, especially when we hit that. I mean, a little further from the beach, but a lot closer to where I'm at now is when we do those Orlando tapings in about a month from now, a little less than a month. That'll or outside of Orlando, Kissimmee, which is Orlando. But that might allow me to, you know, take a little drive down to the beach and have a little day. But we'll see. You know, sometimes one of the things about traveling and seeing things is cool to be in different cities and places. But a lot of times I'm in there, so I'm in there doing work and busy that it's hard for me to get away and kind of sightsee. So I try to like plan for that a little bit more now. Especially I've learned like, yeah, just take a moment, take a couple hours, go see something, and then enjoy it for yourself, you know. So hopefully I'll get a little beach time.
My man, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, I wanted to ask you, you brought up a good thing about, because you know, today in wrestling, as far as like, you know, having your podcast, it's like a buffet table size of so many podcasts. You got so many to choose from. And
Yeah.
do you think people who want to get into like doing a wrestling podcast, do you think it's good or bad to take a step back and like just just clear all the, creative energy and just chill? Or is it okay to just keep on going?
I mean, like it just depends on what's good for you. I mean, everybody's different. Some people need to keep going because that's they don't need that's their outlet, or that's their way to kind of get their mind off things or whatever it is. I go back and forth. I have times where I need to reset, and I have times where I just need to keep going. And in certain aspects of it too, like when it comes to refereeing, I want to keep going, keep getting better, keep improving, keep changing, keep training, keep doing things like that. But when it comes to other things, I'm like, okay, well, while I'm doing that, I'm going to pause this on this side, or I'm going to, okay, I'm going to go hard on my podcast, and I'm going to pause, hanging out, doing a lot of partying, so to speak, or going out and about kind of deal, because I got my training worked out, my refereeing stuff, and now I get the podcast. So just kind of balance it out. Everybody's different. So really, if you get to a point where you're overwhelmed, then I highly recommend taking a reset somewhere, step back on something, because our bodies can only take so much, or in our minds too as well.
Yeah. Man, I really want to say happy belated. I saw on your Facebook that you're engaged, and happy belated, being engaged and everything. So man, I definitely want to reach out to you. Now,
thanks,
like I said, me being married myself, you're about to be married soon. Like, are you like wrestling so much? I'm like talking about to your wife, soon to be wife, and she's like, oh man, because I could be like that too. Like I'm just like, hey baby, this and this, and like.
Well, so we she's an amazing woman, and she loves the fact that I have a dream, and she's always like, go get it, but it's a balance. You've got to I've got to make sure that I spend time with her, and spend, also make sure I get that quality time in. And there's been times where it's just a couple hours, that's it for a few days, and it stinks, and those are usually the rough weeks, and then we're back to, I would call it whatever. I don't know what's normal anymore, but back to something that's a little bit better, where we have a little more quality. So you definitely got to balance that out, and that's one thing I do. I look and I say, okay, I can cut this out, or hold off on this a little bit, so that way I can go and spend some time with her, or I got kid. Well, she's got kids. I got a kid, so that as well. Family time. Now my all the kids love wrestling, so it helps. When we being in watching shows or whatnot. But that's another thing too, is like making sure they have quality time too as well. So it's some, and you miss some stuff. Like I've missed birthdays. Sometimes it happens, unfortunately, when you're traveling. Like I can't be at this party, or I can't be at the wedding, or I can't be wherever. But you have to make it up in another way when the time comes up. And as long as you make it up, usually it's okay.
Yeah. Daniel, I know for like I said, for you have like a lot of fans around, and I'm sure you definitely will gain new fans after watching this episode of Off the Top Rope. What do you want fans to get from this episode tonight? Like about you, and just what do you think they will get from Daniel Spencer when you leave the ropes tonight? Because I mean, fans, they want to see you rough it up and do your thing.
Yeah, I mean, I try to be as nice and real as possible, transparent. You know what I mean? Like I am positive. I try to be very positive. Even when I get negative, I try to turn it into a positive as quick as possible. So I'm definitely one of those, what you call half full, glass half full. There you go, type of person. But just someone that especially when when you I'm someone out there that's going out, trying to do my dream, live a dream, and my goals, and set that. And so, if someone else has dreams and goals, no matter where they're at in life, what they do, they'll set those and go for it. And I hope that people get that from it too as well. That just because you're, some guy on a podcast, who knows, maybe one day you could be the wrestling business, which is where it started with me. I was doing my podcast, and an opportunity came for me to special guest referee, and it turned into where I'm at today, and I'm in that. So it happens, so just, be always, I hate to steal this from Matt Cardona, but be always ready to to go, to push forward and do what you got to do to make your dreams come true.
Like, like you sound so positive, man. You should write like a book about just being motivated and positive, because you got like the laid back chill and just be positive. So just think about writing a book, my man. You should definitely look into doing that, writing a book. But
maybe that's the future. Who knows? We'll see.
You talked about the upcoming Impact tapings. I want to talk about that later on in the show. But
yeah,
as far as you, when you get ready for a taping or like a pay-per-view on Saturday night, like what do you do to like ease your mind and get ready? For me, if I was there, I'd probably be eating like a pack of Fig Newtons, which is my favorite food. I'd be just, chopping on a couple of those. But what do you do just to like get ready and get ready for the big show?
Well, one of the things that people not aware of, and this is almost in any company. I mean, for the most part, WB, Impact, AEW, and you don't see it very much in the indies too much, but sometimes you do. But the referees do a lot more behind the scenes and stuff throughout the day. Like, I'm there super early because we have production meetings, and then then we're getting the ring ready. We're helping with like ring crew stuff. Making sure your ring skirts, your turnbuckle pads, your ropes all of that's done. And there's a lot of other things too. There's a lot of other like just general things that are around the show that it may get thrown. Hey, we need XYZ. Okay. And we got to figure out either get someone to get it or got to figure out how to get that stuff. So, and then in the long run, then we have to figure out the card. And then right now at Impact, Brian Hebner, being the head referee, he does the assignment. So then we have to see what matches we have, and then, kind of figure out what we need for those two as well. So it's a lot more than that. But when it comes to like when it's showtime, like when it's time to get dressed, getting gear, the whole 9 yards, I kind of just get my mind focused by I pump myself up, like let's go. This is I don't. There's been times where I throw in my AirPods and jam some music a little bit, but usually I learned that when I do that, I might get somebody yelling at me, hey, and they need me for something. So I realized that's not a good idea. But yeah, so it's kind of like, and I meditate, pray, things like that too, whatever you want to call it, just to, make sure that I'm set to go. Stretch, of course, got to stretch. Don't want to pull anything or do anything out there. And that's kind of my goal. Now, if I go to an indie show or something, I might not do as much stuff. So I'm a little more laid back, a little more, when show times gets ready. I don't want to sound conceited saying this, but like there's times where I'm nervous, but a lot of times I've done it enough that I pump myself up, but I don't need to pump myself up. I do it because, it's just I want to give my best out there kind of deal. But I also, there's been times where I've literally had no time to relax or put myself up. I had to get out there and go. And that just comes with after, years of doing it, and you get to a certain level as a professional, you sometimes can do that. You can turn on that switch right when you need to. And I'm lucky enough to do that at times.
That's pretty awesome, man. And like you said too, of course, you said the main thing, you got a favorite pump up song. So if you want to dance on the show, what's your favorite like pump up song before you should get ready?
Oh goodness! I mean, it could be. I listen to so much of a hodgepodge stuff. It could literally be a country song. It could be Metallica. I mean, my favorite band of all time is Aerosmith. It could be an Aerosmith song. It could be a rap. It could be some Jay-Z or some Jack Harlow's from Louisville. It could be a Jack Harlow song. I don't know. You know what? Hey, it could even be a Kirk Franklin, some gospel music. I don't know. It just depends on what I'm in the mood for that day, honestly. But it could just be a typical, one of those arena type songs, where you everybody dance now or something like that, where you just, Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch. You know what I'm saying? Like
way back.
Yeah, way back before when he got kicked out when he realized he wasn't going to be a new kid on the block, his brother was, so he decided to do his own thing, which worked out for him, I think, right? Yeah, no. I don't know. So it just depends.
Ladies and gentlemen, I want to say first and foremost, I want to thank you for watching this episode of Off the Top Rope here on Wednesday night. Of course, if your cell phone's blowing up, like I said, everybody knows who's on the show tonight. Of course, like I said, OVW, Impact Wrestling. He got his own podcast. He is doing it all. one of the only. Like I said, I'm gonna say it again. He's one of the greats coming up. Daniel Spencer is live on the ropes. So if you want to ask him a question, just hit a comment here on Off the Top Rope, and I'll be glad to read it here on the air. Now, my man, you talked about, of course, music, jamming it up, but the one thing it all comes down to is how you've come a long way in the business being a referee. And if you have to, let's go back and look at it like last year. What do you say you've seen that you have really established yourself in what area at being a referee? Because they say in wrestling, you never stop learning, but I'm sure you've really, my man, you come a long way.
Yeah, no, I have. And if you go back to watch 2 years ago, when I first debuted in Impact, and then you watch now, you're gonna go, what? You're gonna if you're watching me, hopefully you're more watching the talent, which is the whole point. But if you watch me at all, you're gonna see things that, wow, he was okay, but man, he's much better now. And a lot, honestly, man, I owe it all to. I mean, there's a lot of people that helped me along the way and constantly with teachings. From the great Al Snow at OVW and guys like that. But when it comes to refereeing, I've been a great mentor for the last year and a half has been Brian Hebner. Brian is just, I mean, he's become not only a mentor, he's like one of my close friends, and just to be under that Hebner learning tree has been just unbelievable. What he's done and for me in my career. Now, granted, I know I have to listen and put in the work too, and I get that. But what he's done as far as just teaching me and taking me under his wing has just been amazing. So, I mean, there's just so much. I can't really narrow down. I could just tell you this: I'm a completely night and day different ref from 2 years ago, and I'm even way better than I was last year too, as well. And I'm saying that in confidence. I don't mean that to brag. I know that what I've done. And and the work I've put in and what I've become, and I'm nowhere near finished, nowhere where I want to be. I'm learning, as you mentioned, I am learning every day, or every time I step in that ring, and so I can only imagine what I'm going to say in 2023 when I look back and go, oh yeah, well, I'm way better ref than I was in 2022. That's the goal. As long as I keep getting better and better in every year, I can say I'm way better than the previous year, that I'm doing something right.
My man, you're like that pot of spaghetti sauce where it's just bubbling. It's like bubbling. So you're getting started where he's gonna be bubbling as the time your career is over. So man, like I said, keep doing what you're doing, man. And I can definitely tell that the word that really had just described about you is like you're very humble. Like you don't take nothing for granted. And I can just tell that you got that mindset, especially in wrestling. You have to be humble, and I can tell you definitely take your craft very, very seriously, and that's the only way to go up when you have that mentality like you have, my man.
Thank you, I appreciate that. Yeah, it's every so often I kind of pinch myself, like okay, and I'll take moments and breathe in, when I hit milestones or whatever, and I do smell the roses, so to speak. For different things. So, but at the same time, I don't focus like, okay, I haven't made it, so I need to keep going. If that makes sense, like I've made it, yes, but I haven't made it where I want to be. And my goal is, when it's all said and done, I want to be named as one of the top referees that have ever refed in this business and or sport or industry, if you want to call it. And I'm hoping that, I'm still, in my opinion, a long way from that. Absolutely. But I will get there. That's my goal.
Now we always get creative here on Off the Top Rope. So I took some notes from your Twitter page and
okay.
I assumed, I was like, I'm assuming he's a fan of the show. If he is, that's my boy because I love it. So I'm gonna pull this up. I got this off your Twitter about The Office. And
yes,
if you look at this, Impact versus The Office, all these guys and the young lady there in this match, who wins in a battle royal, and you're reffing this?
Oh goodness! So all of those guys, we got the Office and the Warehouse on one team. Oh man, that's a dream team right there.
Everybody's in there. They're in the battle royal. Battle royal winner gets a title shot. They're all in that. So yeah.
You know what? I think it's no matter who it is on the Impact roster, it's going to come down to Dwight. Dwight's, he's Dwight is 100% like motivated, and he will make sure he would do anything he can to win. And it's I feel like Michael Scott would be the guy who accidentally knocks himself out of the Rumble, or Battle Royal, or whatever. Trying to win, that's the Michael Scott part of it. Jim will just will end up getting eliminated just because he actually decided to do something good for Dwight, but Dwight didn't do something good for him. So then he caused him to get eliminated. That's pretty much that's the what it comes down to. But it's going to come down to Dwight, and you have to tell me who the 10 people from Impact is, because then I can tell you who's gonna, if he wins or not. But Dwight's definitely in that final.
I can see it being like Michael. We all know. I'm sure everybody's, the whole high percentage of the world loves The Office, but I can see Michael Scott saying, "Dwight, help me win this," and Dwight's like, "Yeah, Michael's. We know how he sucks up to Michael." So, and I can see Dwight screwing over Michael, throwing him out, and Michael's like, "What the heck, man?" Like, I can see that, Dwight finally.
Or that was early in The Office. I can see Dwight accidentally sacrificing himself for Michael too. That's another thing that could happen. But I mean, if you came down to like when it was all said and done, how the characters were by the end of the season, and how they the evolution of their characters, Dwight for sure 100% is in that final. If you go back to that first season episode there, and the characters who they were there, you might see Michael Scott being in the final, only because he was sacrificed by Dwight sacrificed himself for it. But then somehow, like I said, Jim decided to be a nice guy like he is and help Dwight after all, but then Dwight screwed him over, and then it's like, okay, well, that's why Jim's not in there. So yeah, and you can't forget Daryl either. Daryl though would be on top too as well. So
Daryl, like I said, but like I'm glad I brought that. I know you like the show. I
love the show,
and that's, I tell people, that's the show. If you want to binge watch a show, Office is like my top 5, like hands down, man.
So here's what I do, and it's not even my favorite show of all time. Believe it or not, it's number 3 of my all-time favorite shows. But it's so good that, and people think, why is it not your favorite show? And I'll explain it in a minute. But I can literally I pop it on, I watch it, I go through the seasons, I get to the end. As soon as it's over, what do? I restart the same season, and I watch it. When I have nothing to watch, I turn on The Office and I go through it. And then it's even better now is that the Office Ladies podcast that's out there, and then they go back and revisit every episode. So then I'm wanting to rewatch it again, because I want to see when they talk about things that happen, and I'm like, I got to rewatch. Even though I know it, I can see it in my mind. I got to go back and watch it just so I can see that too as well. And I also think Kevin and Brian, his name is Brian. Oh man, I forgot his last name. He's doing a podcast very similar, going back talking about The Office too as well. So it's like too many, these Office, but it's good. I can listen to every one and go back and watch, and just give me more reasons to keep watching The Office. But it's not my favorite show of all time. The Dick Van Dyke Show is, because I grew up watching reruns of the Dick Van Dyke Show, and he's by far one of the greatest entertainers of all time. Yeah. And his show is still relevant today, even though it was filmed in the 60s. But you can watch it and get so much enjoyment out of it. And it's in black and white. I get it. But yeah, I forget it's in black and white. And I love it because it reminds me of my childhood of watching it. And just, again, I love talented people, and he's so freaking talented that I love it. And so that's why it's my favorite. That's why that one is always my favorite show of all time. And I can literally binge watch that show over and over and over too. Easy, just as easy as The Office.
It's funny how you can take like your favorite show and watch your favorite show in a wrestling match. And like for me, my favorite show and their legacy will always move on. Like live on. I'm a huge Three Stooges fan, so I can watch like Three Stooges and a good wrestle match and be like, damn, that's so good. Like it's just crisp and just so good. Now, just going back to The Office and the Battle Royal thing, I can see Stanley. We know Stanley. Stanley's like, I'm not going in no ring, getting thrown out. Stanley could care less. You know how Stanley is. Like Stanley could care less. So.
Well, Stanley would be the person as soon as the bell rings, he just crawl over the top rope and crawl out and just be like, I'm done, and go grab his crossword puzzle. That's what Stanley be doing. He's like, forget this. Like that's what he would do.
But
I mean,
yeah,
and yeah, that's and everyone else would try though, yeah, Stanley, no, he's not doing it.
I also found a really cool clip, and I was like, man, somebody really pissed them off. It was from a match. The way your face looks, I got to ask you, man, who'd you piss off in this? I was like, man, he looks like, man, don't try me. I thought I'd bring this clip up, but this is a cool moment because you're like, don't mess with me, or I'll DQ you or kick you out of here. So that's a really cool clip.
You know what? That might have been one of those things where you're sitting there and he's Pinzer's announcing. He actually announces me as the referee, and it's one of those that I'm like, I'm like, all right, don't smile. So then it makes myself look a little meaner by not smiling because I don't want to smile. I don't know. That's the only thing I can think of. But honestly, that in those moments you want to be serious, and it was a serious moment. It's a world title match, so you can't you can't look like you're not in it to win it. As even as a ref, you're in it to do your job.
Yeah, that's a really cool scene, and it takes that. It really relays the message to the fans, like this match is serious, and someone's going to be a winner, a loser, interference, whatever. And it's just a part of wrestling that this is a serious moment because any title match, especially the world title match, is definitely the main event. So I thought that was a really cool picture, and it showed that you ain't nothing to F with in the ring. So that's why I want to bring it up.
I like that. No, I mean, and that was a good match. It was in New Orleans. That was No Surrender. So that was a good match between two giants. I mean, just amazing athletic, just people of how tall they are, let alone what they can do at the ring. It's I was honored to get that a title match. And then actually, I was the last few world title matches. I've been, I had the privilege to officiate the last few specials or pay-per-views, just because of the layout of the card or where they are and that kind of stuff. So yeah, it's been a blessing for sure to be a part of that, and to know that I'm at, like, that's the other thing, looking back at the last year or whatever, to know that I'm in the position where I can be put in a position like that and trusted that it's going to be okay, and not have to worry about, well, Daniel can't do it, he's not ready yet, move on to someone else. They're like, no, Daniel's fine, here you go, that kind of deal. So that's a cool accolade that I can check off, that I've made it to that point, and now it's just getting to where where there's no doubt whatsoever. And I don't think there's any doubt right now, but there could be. I want to make sure there's no doubt whatsoever that I can do the job and get it done.
Now, you, of course, I got to ask you, because like I said, I grew up in the area, huge wrestling city. Of course, Impact Wrestling was recently at 2300 Arena in Philly. I've been there many, many times. And if you were at the event, how was that event? Because Philly they don't play around when it comes to wrestling. They love their wrestling. So
it was an amazing 2 nights. Well, actually, there was Friday and Saturday with the tapings. Friday was amazing, but then Saturday was even better. And I was like, how is this possible? It's like more people showed up. It was a bigger crowd, which we barely had any room on Friday, but it was amazing. And to be a part of that arena, of course, I know it's night and day different compared to what it was back in the ECW days or whatever, but it was just it was so cool, and the crowd was so nice, or nice as in given to you, the fans, giving you the boos and the cheers. And believe it or not, a Philly crowd is normally kind of very, very heel sided. One side where they kind of cheer the heels and boo the babies, but this crowd was not like that. They legit booed the bad guys and cheered the good guys. It was pretty cool. I mean, you had a few tweeners, don't get me wrong, that was trying to yell for something, but when they realized it wasn't going to work, they stopped. I mean, it was a really good rocking 2 nights in Philly, and I'm excited. And it was announced there, so it's it's nothing, no secret. We're going back there in September for possibly a Impact Plus special and TV tapings again. So I'm looking forward to that when we go back, and I definitely, one of those sightseeing things, I'm going to go see Rocky, the Rocky statue. I'm definitely going to go see Rocky statue next time I'm there. And make sure I get more Philly cheesesteaks, because That was Tony Luke's. Yeah, amazing place.
I was going to ask you, man. I was like, I hope you got a cheesesteak, man.
Oh yeah, I got one the first night and the last night. Yeah, I got me a cheesesteak for sure. And I just wanted it one time, but it was so good. I was like, I got to do it again. And I like Philly cheesesteaks. I eat them, every so often. Actually, I got made fun of in New Orleans because we went and got some food, and I was like, "Oh, give me a Philly cheesesteak," and they're like, "Why would you get that here?" And I'm like, "Well, that was what they had on the menu that I kind of wanted. It was real late or whatever." And I was like, "Oh, it's fine." I go, "Well, you need to really next time in Philly is when you." I said, "Oh, trust me, I'm going to eat one." And that put that New Orleans Philly cheesesteak to shame. I don't even now. No wonder they made fun of me for even getting one there because there's no comparison getting one in Philly, especially at Tony Luke's.
Now moving ahead, of course, three most important things is that Impact Wrestling, OVW, and your podcast. Those three things order, back to back to back. What do you want to see out of the three, great things moving ahead out of the three for, heading into the summer?
Yeah, well, I know that with OVW, there's a lot of things, a big summer tour that we do every year, and hopefully the tour ends up moving into the fall and other things. But the summer tour is cool because we go around the whole state of Kentucky and do a lot of cool shows and try to earn a lot of new fan bases or people just for casual fans and try to enjoy that. So I love to see OVW is making strides as far as what they're doing when it comes to being on more programs and things like that. I love to see some more faces inside OVW that are around as far as like in the indie side. I love to see more indie people come and get their chance to earn their spot there and and kind of learn TV because indie and TV are two different things. And I love this, and vice versa. I love to see a lot of the OVW guys get other opportunities to go outside and branch off in some of the other three places and do some learnings, response, some tryouts, and see what happens there as well. As far as Impact, I just think that Impact, we are on a just. I'm biased, of course, but I do believe it as a fan that we are the best program on TV. The only thing that upsets me is that I see a lot of people forget that we're there. And I think because of the buzz of what's going on with some of the other two places, but the fact that we were able to do what we did to allow Mickie James to be a part of the Royal Rumble, and as the Impact Knockouts champion at the time too, so and so that and just what's to come with the 20-year anniversary of Slammiversary this summer. It just we're constantly ever since 2017 for sure when Anthem took over and Scott D'Amore was brought in with Don Callis at the time. It's just been growing and getting better and better and better. But since the pandemic, it's like again, I feel like it's been since the pandemic the best show on television, top to bottom. Everything from the time that you turn it on to the time you turn it off, there's not a moment where you're like, I'm gonna fast forward this. You get that in other programs, and not to knock those other programs, but unfortunately they have things that it's not the talent, it's just whatever the creative they came out with. You fast forward, you don't find yourself doing that with Impact. So my thing is, I think this is what's happening here a little bit. More and more fans are remembering. Wait, Impact is still around. Yeah, they're still around. Wait, I need to check this out. If they see a glimpse of whether they come to a live show or whether they, happen to catch it on TV or catch it on the, on Fight or wherever it may be, they're watching it and they're going, okay, now this is must see TV because it is must-see TV. I gotta watch. I gotta keep up what's happening. I gotta keep up with what's going on with Matt Cardona. And not only is he had Impact, but he's everywhere. And I gotta keep up with these guys and Good Brothers. So there's one time they were showing up at AEW and showing up at Impact. So you never knew where they were gonna be. Same with our champions at the time. Kenny Omega was a champion. He was coming up both places. So it's a pretty cool time to be. To be a fan for sure. And then with everything happening with, again, all the Forbidden Door, New Japan, people coming into ours, ROH, people going, it's an amazing time. And so people's going to remember that Impact was the first one that always started the Forbidden Door, and
Yeah.
and you know, you better what's the word? The hard term. Don't sleep on Impact. You don't sleep. Wake up, start watching, realizing, oh wow, this is the best program on TV, and then you're going to see it in the numbers eventually.
Like I check you guys out too, and when I've seen how you guys have, like, the fact that a lot of promotions suffered during the pandemic, but you guys didn't suffer, you never looked back. And when I look at your matches, your presentation, which says a lot in wrestling, I'm like, man, Impact is that hidden gem that people are not watching. And I'm really proud of you guys. And I think that September show, I'm gonna take my ass down to Philly and come to that September show because
Yeah,
I admit I gotta come, check out the Impact show. So, but like I said, you said
yeah.
September, I'm kind of like writing it down. Like, yeah, I gotta bring my ass down to Philly. And
Yeah, you got to, and that's the thing too, is that you know, it's one of the again, I think the reason why people, you know, the number, you look at the ratings or whatever, who cares about them? But anyways, you look at the ratings and you're like, well, you know, this one's getting this, or this one's getting that. It's that people kind of forget, you know, or they've been so, they were so lost on it. There was a time frame when, you know, it wasn't that great, you know, but that old regime is gone and new regime came in, and you know, was able to kind of take it to another level, and it's completely at a different level, and it's going to keep going and going, and before you know it, you know, we're gonna talk about, you know, maybe the king, the Met, what, you know, the E, the Fed, whatever you want to call it. Everybody's gonna talk. No one's gonna top them. I get it, but you're gonna eventually say, well, number two, it ain't what you think it is. Number two is Impact, and they could be number one if they didn't just have the machine of the E behind them, unfortunately. So
now, of course, Saturday night, you guys got a big one coming up. Like I said, Impact Wrestling, your Rebellion is coming up Saturday, and
yeah,
this event is going to be huge. Check it out, of course, on Fight and everything. I looked at the card. I was like, damn, this card is big.
yeah.
So you got to have one word, two words, any sentence to describe this event. What would it be? Because, man, this is huge, man.
I said today, I think I tweeted out today that it's going to be, and I used the fire emoji, so it's going to be fire. That's the key. That's that fire. And what I mean by, I mean hot. I mean it's just blow your socks away. It's amazing. I am so excited for this event, and I don't even think we've got the full card yet. I just don't. I'm looking at it. I'm looking at it going, I think I don't think we have it all yet. Like, I just don't. It feels like we're missing something. So I just, you know, I'm if it doesn't get released before then, I'm sure I'll find out on Saturday and be like, yep, we didn't have the full card, because there's it's just going to be an amazing event. Don't miss it. I mean, if you can't be live in Poughkeepsie there in person, hit that Fight TV app and buy it. I mean, it's going to be the best $40 you've ever spent in your life. I promise you that.
You can be on your cell phone. You got the Fight TV app. Every place has an app now, so it's not that hard nowadays. Where back then you had to take your remote, hit the buttons, go on your phone, boom.
Oh yeah. Well, here's the thing too. I mean, of course, it's on pay-per-view too as well, and you can download it. But here's the cool thing too, is I noticed today, Fight TV tweeted this out. I was like, this is cool, so I shared it. It literally gives you step-by-step instructions on every device you may have to watch it. It's giving you, if you have a Vizio TV, an LG TV, if you have Apple TV or Fire Stick or Roku, like every little device you have, it's telling you how to literally get Fight TV on your TV. Or if you have if you have a Chromecast or something like that, it tells you how to get it on your phone or tablet and then cast it to your TV. Like, it's giving you all the step by steps. Actually, for a while there with Fight TV, I would put it on my iPad or my phone and cast it to my TV. Well, then now my TV has the app, so I have it there. I go right to it and boom, click on it, and it brings up my account, and I'm able to watch away whatever I want to watch and order. So yeah, I mean, I highly recommend getting it there. I mean, you know, the Ultimate Insiders is great, and you can definitely, if you purchase that, yes, you get it a month later, but you don't want to watch it a month later. You want to watch it this Saturday night live.
This Saturday night. Now, Daniel, my man, this next segment, I always got to do it to my guests. It's kind of like a stump question. And
okay,
you ready to talk some Miami Heat? I know you're ready.
Oh yeah, I'm ready to talk some Miami Heat.
We're going to our next segment. We're going to tie in a little bit of wrestling and Miami Heat. So let's do it.
Damn, Ty. That's good.
So the question is, being that you're a Miami Heat fan, the question is, using the Heat name, you're bringing your very own wrestling show to their arena. Of course, is FTX.
Right.
What would you call the show using the word Heat? It's not just Heat, but you have to use a couple words to put in with Heat to name your event.
Oh gosh. Bring the heat.
There you go.
Yeah. Turn up the heat. I mean, I keep going. Heat it up. I don't know.
I like that.
There's a lot you could do there. That would be a dream come true to do a show with Miami Heat. That'd be awesome.
That'd be awesome. I figure you like that, so I figure I twist a little bit, give you some. I know you're excited about your Miami Heat, so I was like,
oh yeah, 2-0. We're 2-0 right now, and I don't see us. I mean, granted, I've known people put their foot in the mouth, but I don't see us, going losing any games in this first series for sure. I see us going 4-0 and moving on to round 2. So.
Well, good luck to the Heat, man. And I'm glad you like that question. I just want to show some Miami Heat support. Now, Daniel, like I said, man, this episode was sizzling off the top. Like I said, you doing your thing, roughing it up.
It was sizzling. It had some heat.
It was sizzling, man. It had some heat, man. And so I want to ask you, like I said, before you leave the ropes tonight, you got a lot of stuff coming up. The big event Saturday, your podcast, OVW. My man, what is up next for you? Tell your fans, man, where are you going to be roughing it up next and throwing people out the ring and DQing?
Of course, we got the Rebellion shows and the impact or fallout from Rebellion this weekend at Poughkeepsie. OVW is always every Thursday, in Louisville, Kentucky, the Davis Arena, live TV as well as, and then every so often we do April 30th. Where actually two things, April 29th and April 30th. April 29th, OVW will be doing a show at the Kentucky Derby Festival. Now, if anybody knows this area, the Kentucky Derby is the biggest event in this area that happens every year. It happens on May 7th, but 2 weeks prior to, the city kind of parties and does some kind of events every day. So one of the events we're bringing wrestling out in the waterfront, and it's free. You just got to, I guess, get into what we call a chow wagon, and you come there, and then there's concerts and stuff that happen later on, but you get to watch a live wrestling show right there. It's pretty cool. We've had some big stars. Actually, Tommy Dreamer was in it 2 years ago or 3 years ago, the last time we did this one before the pandemic. So Tommy Dreamer was there for that one. But yeah, we do that, and then on April 30th is the next pay-per-view for OVW, which could be seen on Fight TV as well. And then after that, the following week, Impact TV, Under Siege is going to be live May 7th in the Cincinnati area, which is actually Newport, Kentucky. And then the next day would be May Day, they're calling it, which is TV tapings from that. And then following that next weekend, Kissimmee, which is outside of Orlando, Florida, for two nights of TV tapings there. And then, I think some kind of a big announcement Impact will make in this weekend at Rebellion in regards to our big Slammiversary show, and that'll be the next thing. And I'll let you find out where and when that is when they announce it, because that'll happen more than likely this Saturday. Just, you can get me on, find out more about anything. I'm always on social media. So Twitter and Instagram is at Daniel Spencer. You can hit me up there. And of course on there, I'm also, Pro Wrestling Tees I got a store there. You can find it on my links, and I'm also on Cameo now. So if you want a cameo, just hit up cameo.com/Daniel Spencer, and I make it pretty reasonable price. I'm not gonna lie, it's probably too cheap. I probably should up the price a little bit, but you get a Cameo, send me a Cameo. I'll be more than happy to. I've even had people talked about. They mentioned this before when I signed up for when Cameo like sent me the invite or whatever. I was like, yeah, I'll do it, and I mentioned that to somebody. And they go, dude, you could officiate things. I was like, that's going to be what I'm going to say. So if you need me to like officiate an argument you're having, like what to eat for dinner or something, if you're married and you don't fit, you need to come in and give the official call. I could do that too. I can officiate and make the ultimate champion out of it. So that's just something I could do as well. And hey, it's it might be worth that. A few dollars you'll spend to do that. Who knows? So
now. The biggest question involved, of course.
Yeah.
From 1 to 10, would you ever come back on Off the Top Rope again, and we can party it up again, and you can bring the heat?
Oh, from 1 being no and 10 being yes.
Yeah.
Oh, that's 11.
11. I appreciate that, man. I definitely appreciate that. Now, Miami Heat fans, wrestling fans. You got to love this guy because he brought the heat. He pumped up the Miami Heat in the playoffs. He pumped up Impact Wrestling, OVW, his podcast. If there's one guy, I'm going to say it, he's one of the greatest referees going today. My man, the one, the only, Daniel Spencer. He was on Off the Top Rope tonight. Daniel, my man, thank you very much for coming on the show. Most important, God bless, man. Keep doing what you're doing. I'm proud of you. And, hey, take it to the sky, man.
Absolutely. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thanks for having me on. It was an honor and a privilege. And yes, I will, anytime you want me back, I'm more than happy to come back. And if I don't, I better see you in September. That's what I'm saying. I better see you in September.
Like I said, man, you could hit me up, email, whatever, man. Hold me to that because, like I said, I love the arena down there in Philly, the 2300 arena. They have so many names, but hold me to that. I'm gonna bring my ass to Philly in September, man. So
where you based out of?
I'm up in Waverly, New York. So I'm like mountains, like 3 hours from like Philly. So I can make the trip. It's just like
okay. Well, I mean, what about Poughkeepsie? How far are you from there?
That I'm not sure.
Okay, all right. I was like, hey, man. I mean, where you can make it this weekend. Why not?
But like I said, definitely September. Like I said, if you could send me all the Impact stuff, I can go on Impact site. Just let me know September, because you said it's set in stone for September, right?
It is set in stone for September. Yeah, it was. I mean, anything could change. I mean, it's wrestling. Cards have changed. That could change. But pretty much before the announcement was made, when Scott D'Amore went out there to make the announcement, he cleared it and made sure that was the date, and then he went out and made the announcement that we're coming back in September. So it's not online anywhere just because it's too far to put out there yet. But it was made in the I know back in March when they were in my hometown, Louisville, Kentucky, where they mentioned they're coming back in July, and that's tickets that went on sale with that, but it is on the schedule I've seen. We are definitely back in Louisville in July, just like the dates they say. So I'm pretty sure it's September back in Philly.
September, it's all going down. Daniel's gonna hold me to that. This is your boy Ty Asbury. The great Daniel Spencer was live on the show. He's probably want to get out of here so he can go get a cheesesteak or make a cheesesteak. So this is your boy Ty Asbury. Thank you for watching Off the Top Rope Wednesday night. I'm out of here. Love yourself. Peace out. Have a great night, everybody. Peace.